All-Star Superman was released in January 2006, created by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. This story, when it comes to Superman, probably ranks as my favorite right now because I think a big issue for a long time, like me and a lot of other people, we see Superman as a bland and boring character at the end of the day. I truly believe this story gave the Man of Steel what he needed most, which was relatability. And you can argue he is relatable for some people, but I do believe for the majority of readers, that's just not the case most of the time. This series though, this is a story, what would happen when we have a dying Superman? What would he do? We see the true morality of Superman and we finally get the idea of who he truly is, because at this point there's really nothing to hide. He only has a limited amount of time, so he needs to figure out what he can do from here to the end. We see his fears, his desires, his struggles, and it just makes him more relatable as a character. And again, I think that's huge. One of his most prevalent fears is what will happen when he's passed on. Will someone be able to take his place? Can someone take his place? And we don't know, and he doesn't know either. Part of this journey here is to find that, and at the same time, he tries to do everything he can to make the world better in his final days. He goes on a lot of crazy adventures, like going to Bizarro World. He ends up meeting some of the people there, and he would even confess his love to Lois Lane, and he would also go on to do a lot more. This series is only 12 issues, but in those 12 issues, I felt like a lot happened. And when it came to his final months, we would see Superman use a lot of technology gained over the years he had locked away and use it for good. It was kind of cool seeing him kind of go outside the idea of what they were designed for or what he could use them for and improve the lives of others. And it was kind of weird seeing him use all this technology that we typically don't see him use, or maybe I'm just unaware. But I think kind of that desperation of kind of making himself more efficient made the character even better, in my opinion, just because we can kind of see him freaking out a little bit on the inside. From here, I don't want to give like too much of the story. I think it's a really good story. I think his final months alive and what he wants to do and what his final goals were to protect the world or leave that final impression. So, like I said, I do want to move on from here and talk about the art of the series, then the good, the bad, and the ugly. Personally, I liked it a lot. Everything seemed really clean. I liked the character models the most. They kept the design simple and just really focused on cleaning everything up. They would even do this in the backgrounds. They were very simplified, but even then, with it being so simple, it seemed well scaled and just detailed enough where everything just synergized perfectly together. Moving on to the good, the bad, and the ugly though, the good for me was what I talked about earlier. Historically, I was never a Superman fan, but this was probably the best series out there that helps make Superman more relatable. So to me, that's a big plus in my book. For the bad, I wasn't huge on some of the side stories they did. They were never bad stories, and maybe I'm just too much of a novice when it comes to Superman, so maybe I missed something that I was supposed to see. But personally for me, if I was writing a story about a man fading away, I'm not sure if I'd add some of the stuff. I feel like I'd focus on more core things, but again, that's just something probably on my end that I've misunderstood. Finally, the ugly. They actually made a whole animated movie about this series, and it was really good, and I'm not gonna lie. If I was lazy and I didn't want to read this or I didn't want to buy everything and collect it all, I just go to HBO Max and just watch it. It doesn't have every storyline, but I think it has the key concepts and the key parts of the story in there, so I think you could probably get a good grasp by watching the movie itself. Again, I think always the source material is a lot better than it's going to be when it comes to movie. But if you're not too sure on Superman, you're not never the biggest Superman fan, maybe go watch that movie and then decide you want to read the whole series. All in all, for a Superman comic, it's definitely an A-tier series. It even won the Eisner Award for being the best ongoing comic at the time. Personally, I've never heard of that award, but I still think it's kind of cool that it generated that much hype that it was awarded before it even ended. Do I recommend the series? Of course. Do I think you need to drop everything and read it? Nah, probably not. But if you want to get into Superman, it was a great series at the end of the day. And again, I hope you guys do enjoy it. But if you guys like the stuff, make sure to like and subscribe. It always does help the channel. And again, the goal is to always reach 1,000 subs by the end of the year. But I don't want to keep you guys on here too long. I want you guys to go out and live your lives. Or maybe keep scrolling on YouTube. I'll check you guys out later. See ya.